first one I'm going to bring up is actually Kelly out of the UK. She's a Director 2 Platinum. You're going to notice everybody has 2 titles or 2 ranks. So on the builder side, she's hit the Director 2 rank. On the promoter side, her personal customer base is on the Platinum side, which is 30% commissions on all her personal customers, and her team has done over $25,000 in sales. And here's the other thing, too, is she's enrolling people all the time. I swear, like every other day, Kelly's enrolling a new social marketer, launching new teams, leading by example, and we're just so grateful and glad to have her on the team. So, Kelly, are you unmuted, hopefully?
Hey, guys. How are you all doing?
Oh, there you are. I'm so glad you were able to get on the moderator line. So could you start off, Kelly, sharing with everybody just like 2 minutes on your story, your background, what led you to Modere, and then we'll get into some tips.
Yeah, of course. So I am 37 and I'm a single mum. I actually fell into network marketing by chance, really. I actually knew nothing about it, but it was 10 years ago I actually started my journey with network marketing. And I put on a little bit of weight and I started some products and then got the opportunity to join a business. So I was with my previous company for 9 years, and I've actually only been with Modere for 6 months, but I'm absolutely loving it. So I think the thing with me is, like, I grew up on a council estate. We didn't really have much growing up, but I've always been a very driven person. I've always wanted more from life. I've always wanted to know that when the time came that I become a mum, you know, I could really provide for my kids and give them the stability that they deserved. But when I was younger, I had absolutely no idea really how I was ever going to, you know, get to that point. So I used to job hop a lot. I always worked like 2 or 3 jobs at a time trying to pay the bills and all of the rest of it. And as I say, when I got given the opportunity to join network marketing, I had no idea really what I was letting myself into. But I ran with it, and I've loved my journey so far. It's just the beginning, obviously, with Modere, but with my previous company, you know, I hit the top position within 2 years of being in there, become a 6-figure earner. I've been able to buy my own house. When I did get pregnant, you know, I was financially stable. I've been able to take my mum on holidays and look after her and care for her. And I think that's one thing that's absolutely beautiful about this industry, is that it gives you everything. It gives you the time freedom, the financial freedom, and it just ticks all my boxes. So I was with my previous company, as I say, for 9 years. And it just got to the point where we wasn't bringing out new products. I felt like it had got quite stagnant, and my vision didn't align anymore with that company. So there was nothing wrong personally with the company. It was just my vision wasn't aligning anymore. So I looked around, and when I found Modere, I was absolutely blown away. I feel like as a company, they just have our back in every single way. The company listens. They implement the things that we ask for. You know, we have so many incentives and offers and things like that we can offer our customers. And I just feel like when I saw, you know, even the dual comp plan, like every single thing about Modere, it was like my boxes were like tick, tick, tick. That's what I want. That's what I want to be a part of. And as I said, I've been here now 6 months. I'm absolutely loving it. As John said, I do recruit very heavily. I think I do recruit probably about 10 people a month at the moment. But that's what it's all about. It's about leading by example and showing your team what is possible in this industry.
I love that so much. And yes, I see you consistently doing what it takes to build a real business. And, you know, it's important for people to understand that there is that dual-sided compensation plan where technically you could make a really great part-time or even a full-time income just from building a customer base. And we teach you how to leverage social media, how to generate leads. We give you we spoon-feed you post ideas and strategy to build a following and put yourself out there so you don't have to rely on just like your friends and family, like a lot of these old school MLMs. It's kind of like, hey, make a list of people you know and pitch them on your products and opportunity. And by the way, nothing wrong with acquiring a customer from your existing warm market, but there is something amazing when you can start to branch out of your immediate network of people, and you start to build that following. And some of you probably already have a following. Some of you probably already use social media in that capacity. Well, Kelly has been very consistent in that. So, Kelly, can you start off with maybe sharing some tips, right, to recruit people on a consistent basis? I mean, you've been here 6 months, so it's not like you're only enrolling a bunch of people because you just came over from another company. Like, this is 6 months later, and you're still enrolling consistently. So can you share some tips, some advice for people that would love to do what you're doing in Rank Advance on both sides of the compensation plan, and they would love to start enrolling on a consistent basis?
Of course, yeah. So I'm absolutely massive on attraction marketing, and I do post a lot. I think one thing with this business is you have to be relatable and you have to allow people into your life. So there's a few things. Well, the first thing is get on the product. Make sure that you are being product of the product. And then also be consistent. And there's a few things you should be consistent with, not just your posting, but also who you are on social media. You almost have to brand yourself as such. So I have a little task that I usually get my new girls when they join to do. And it's literally just writing down 5 things that make you you. So for example, me, it would be my son. I love singing, I love shopping, I love traveling, and I love animals. So if you go onto my social media, you will see that. Those 5 things are what I call breakup posts. So as much as you want to be sharing, result pictures and your life and all of the rest of it, you also want to show yourself and let people into your life. And those 5 things are what you're going to be posting about. So you want to be consistent with who you are, because you want to get people, over to your page that are going to be, sort of like-minded people. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So all of the people in my team, we all are very, very similar because I've attracted them in, from those 5 things. But with attraction marketing, when I'm out and about, you can literally make a post of anything and turn it into a business post. Go and get a coffee, show where you're working from and start having a coffee and earning money, earning an income. Take your child out for the day. What are you doing with your child? Show that you're doing that and you're still able to be earning an income. And all of these things, doing these things consistently will bring people over to your page. Being relatable, as I say, lead by example, and just be consistent with doing those things.
I really like that too. It's really just making it a habit to start documenting. Would you agree?
Yeah, so I actually follow a DMO, which is a daily method of operation. And again, when someone joins my team, they get that daily method of operation. What it is, it's basically like a tick list, like a to-do list each day of what sort of content you need to be getting on your page. So I think off the top of my head, it's something like 1 result picture a day, a bold recruitment post every 2-3 days, show where you're working from, like an excitement post, thank you for your order post. You want to do your happy birthdays. You want to go and do 15 minutes of connecting. You want to go and get in your inbox for 15 minutes, all of these things. So when someone joins my team, they get that DMO and I say to them, if you really want to be successful, you need to be consistent with that DMO.
I love that so much. And it is funny because in the beginning, I think that's the thing people struggle with the most. They don't know where they should start. They don't know what to focus on. And get with your upline. I mean, inside of our guides, inside of our training guide 1 and additional guides 2. But there's all the resources you need to get started, the 24-hour game plan, the scripts. There's online tools, but then I actually think it's a good idea to print off a tracker, your DMO, so that way you can keep track of the things you're doing. You kind of check the boxes. I don't know if a lot of you are the same way, but I know for me, when I started to put together an intentional plan, I had a schedule, I had the tracker, checking the boxes, having a to-do list. Now I don't have to think about it, right? Kelly doesn't have to think about it. It's kind of like we automatically document. We automatically come up with post ideas. And even there probably are days where Kelly's I'm not in the mood to post something. I did a post today, and I already knew it would blow up because I did the exact same post, word for word, 2 years ago on the same day. So I already knew it was going to blow up. So this is also the beauty of getting good at what Kelly's talking about, because once you kind of have your 5 pillars and you kind of have the content that you're going to create, the content you're going to talk about, post about, you start to build up a library of content. So when you follow, this is a tip I would recommend for all of you. Everybody on this call today that you saw on the flyer that you're going to hear from Tisha, Risa, myself, Kelly, follow those people on social media. Look at what they're doing. Look how they show up. Look how consistent they are. Look at the post ideas. Now, you're not going to copy them, but you can model what they're doing. Model success. Follow the top people that you see on the leaderboards, the top Canadians, the top Americans, the top in Europe. You can see who the top recruiters and the top sellers are, and you can see what they're doing on social. Now, you might not necessarily see what they're doing behind the scenes, but a lot of what they're doing is on social media. So follow Kelly's stories, watch what she does, but make it your own. So, Kelly, what would you recommend for people that want to do more team building, more recruiting? What are some of the things you do when someone raises their hand and they express interest?
So I work best with voice notes. One thing, again, I think it just works better when you are talking to people about business so that they can hear your voice and hear that you're genuine, or set up a call. I'm not too much of a fan of like copy and paste templates as such. I think you need to be relatable. But so when I'm speaking to someone, I always fact find first. I find out, why do they want to earn more money? I know it could be an easy answer, but is it because they want to look after their kids? Is it because they want to just have a little bit more of an income to book a holiday? Whatever it is, and then you can become more relatable to what it is their needs are. We also have in my team a prospect group, so we have a potentials group. And every other week we're going to be setting up live interviews in there. So again, it will be tagged, as to what it might be. And then when someone comes in with whatever goal it is, we can tag them in those posts that are relevant. But I think it's just finding out, as I say, what people's goals are, what they want out of business, and then relating it back to that.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. Sometimes we forget to just ask questions, get people talking, let them tell you why they want to try the products, why they want to start an additional income, because then it's a lot easier based on what they want, not what you want, what they want, to map out a plan. Any other tips, Kelly? Anything else you would suggest for people listening that are excited to start growing their team like you?
Yeah, so one big thing is do a vision board. So I have different things on my vision board. I have like short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. And it's really, really important because like you said, John, there are going to be days where we all have where you get up and you think, do you know what, I cannot be asked today. But if you've got a vision board and you're constantly seeing that and you're reminding yourself of why you're doing this business, why you're building, what you want to get out of this, if you're seeing that all of the time, you're more likely to keep doing the do and stay consistent. So again, what we do, some of us in our team, we actually have our vision board like as a photo, and then we save it as our screensaver on our phones. So then when you look at your phone, you're like, do you know what? No, that's why I'm doing it. Get to work. Gives you a bit of a boot up the backside. But it's also a really good tool, again, to help you recruit as well, because as you're ticking those goals off, you can then visually show that to people. You can literally pull that off your board, do a video, post it, and show, I've just done this because of my business. This is what I've achieved because of this business. And you can just tie in with that. Even if, you haven't been in this business long and you haven't got your own story yet, share other people's stories. Like we have so much success here. It is unbelievable. But make sure you are, sharing all of that success and talking openly as well about your goals, even if you haven't hit them yet. Get people to visualize what it is you're creating. And then that will help you to build and recruit people into your business.
Yep. Amen. It's so funny too, because, when I first got started, that was one of the things I really struggled with. And, the more you listen to calls like this and the more you really tune in, you realize it's not that complicated. It's such a simple process. Once you learn the basics of ATM, social media marketing, creating conversation, just being a human first, a marketer second, and then you start to realize why you're doing this. Like whenever you feel discouraged, you got to remember why you got started. When you have that dream board, you have those big goals, you start to realize of course it's supposed to be hard. Of course you're going to have days where you feel like quitting. But when you remember that you have a much bigger goal a much bigger dream, well, guess what? That means you're going to have an equal amount of struggle, adversity, challenge. It makes sense that if you want to be a person of tenacity, perseverance, you want to be a person that people, look at for inspiration, that you're going to have to go through some trials and tribulations. There's going to be times where, like, you don't know if you can keep going, but if you remember why you got started and you got those big visions and you're not just, like, talking about it, but like you said, you actually make a dream board and you see it every day and it goes into your subconscious, like I'm telling you, that will pay off. Sometimes people don't believe in that stuff, but it really does make a big difference. And I think one of the things that always kept me so motivated is in those early days, I don't know how many of you experienced this, but you have some haters. I'm sure, Kelly, you've had some haters, right? You get those trolls with goals that leave nasty comments, or, they kind of do the passive-aggressive posting, or they say things to you when you see them in person. But I always, remembered those people. I don't know if everybody else can relate to this, but those haters I had in those early years, because I've been doing this for over 2 decades, but I never wanted them to be right. So it would always, motivate me whenever I felt discouraged or disappointed or I felt like giving up. I was like, oh, my gosh, I can't quit, because then I'd let them be right and I can't let them win. And then, of course, years later, having kids and having a family, you start to have different reasons for showing up every day. And now for me, it's all about impact. You look at Kelly, you look at these other people you're going to hear from. We make a difference by helping other people make a difference in their lives, in the lives of others. That's really what it's all about, whether it's customers loving our products, whether it's that part-time, social marketer or stay-at-home mom that wants to make extra money, or it's someone wanting to build a big business, wanting to build an empire and change their financial future. Anywho, I could talk all day about this. Kelly, thank you so much. I know you're in the UK, so it's a little later where you're at, so we appreciate you being flexible and being on today's call, and just so inspiring to see you leading by example, rank advancing on both sides of the plan, and just keep up the great work. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You're amazing.